last lock of 21. Thankfully we've managed to pair up with another boat, so we'll be going up them all together. Boys are doing the locks at the moment. We'll sort part way through the day, no doubt, and there is some volunteer lockies on part way up. There is a pair of boats coming down as well, so they're in the lock in front of us at the moment, so hopefully once we pass all the locks should be set for us. Just looking at those big black clouds, could be another wet day. As we leave the buoys closing the second lot of lock gates, the volunteers have opened the next one for us, so that's good. It means we can go straight in and they won't be too far behind. You can just see them there on the path. Negotiating into locks with another boat already in there is always a bit nerve-wracking. We're about a third of the way up the locks. It is getting busier now. There was one boat came down this one before we came in, and there's two boats coming down the next one before we go into it. There is 3 lockies on now, so that's good. They're all helping out. So hopefully we'll get to the top without getting too wet. Here we go, passing the boats in the pound.
So we're about halfway up. We've just swapped over with the lock keeper because he's got one coming down, but he has set the next 2 locks ahead for us. We've got another lock keeper that we're going to catch up with. Tasha's doing a fantastic job, and very pleasant couple that we're going up with. Some nice stories about their years of cruising and his most favourite one on the Caledonian.
Halfway up the lock flight now, we're at Hatton Middle Lock. You can see the next 10 in front of us all much closer together than these ones we've just done. You can almost see the top of the lock flight now.
Working our way up through the locks, and I've been given a footpath to do this ad. Oh look, here comes Tash. She's doing a fantastic job. Way to go, girlie. So we're up to number 35 lock, but that doesn't mean we've done 35 today. That's how many there is from the top or the bottom of the canal. So I think we're over halfway up the flight, but I'm not going to count on that either. So we've 4 more locks to do, so we get to the cake shop at the top of the 21 flight. It's almost there. This is the last 3/4, but there's a big coaching inn which is called the historic Warwickshire coaching inn from the 18th century that sat on the top of the hill there. Very nice to see. We've got to lock number 41 from earlier on, and guess what? The Evans have opened, so the goats have come on. We're working our way up, not got that many left to do.
In true 2023 summer style, it's raining again. We've only got 5 locks to go to get to the top of the flight, and then it's cake time. Certainly not got last year's problems of shortages of water. Look at it all coming over the gates. Got a rise beam come out of the next lock towards us. This is what our boating's all about. We've done the lock flight, 1 more to go, and we can see the cafe on our port side. Bring on the cake. Final lock before our lunch stop, Hatton Top Lock.
So that is what Hatton Lock looks like, with the canal in the middle, the blue line with all the locks marked into it.
Come into Hatton Cafe for lunch and end up with a crinkly neck because there's so much stuff hanging from the ceiling to look at. Here we are, starting our winter wood collection. Top Lock Hatton flight has got some free locks.
So we're doing the Grand Union Canal. We've come up Hatton flight of locks today. We've got some groundworks happening on the towpath, which is why there's the work boats there, and we're coming up to, I think it's Truly Tunnel. It's not a very big one, you can see through the other side. Probably if you're lucky you might just be able to make that out from the video, but we're doing the adventures. Hopefully we'll have, I think it's Lapworth flight of locks to do yet, before we finish today's adventures. Enjoy the ride. Not a very wide tunnel. We've got a boat at the other end with its headlight on waiting to come through. But see, we're already in. Oh, that water got me from the tunnel. We get a priority. See what we can do. You might not be able to make out the boat up the other side, but it's waiting for us.
So this tunnel's got an additional tunnel above it, which I'm assuming is a footpath, but we will research it and let you know for definite. This section of the Grand Union, from the top of Hatton Locks to Kingswood Junction, has been beautiful. Rolling hills both sides, plenty of places to moor up if you're happy to use pins.
Tunnels with extra pathway tunnels in it.
It's been really tranquil, really nice section. So we're just going under Bridge 62. Once we go under Bridge 64, we'll shortly after that get to Kingswood Junction, and we're going to turn left onto the Stratford-on-Avon Canal. It would be quicker to continue to Birmingham
How are we doing,
on the Grand Union and through Solihull.
Fantastic.
But of course there's Bourneville if we go on the Stratford-on-Avon and then the Birmingham and Worcester Canal. So we've got to go that way because we haven't done Bourneville yet. So that's the way we're heading.
Chocolate!
A couple of very overgrown boats here. Such a shame because that looks like a really historic wooden boat as well. Here we go then. Goodbye to the Grand Union Canal. As we turn to our port side and go under Bridge 37 onto the Stratford-on-Avon Canal and down through Lapworth Locks. We've done 21 locks so far
There's
today.
nothing coming up, is there, pal?
No, there's stuff packed by all the time.
Thank you very much.
21 locks a day isn't enough. We've got another 15 to go. Boats parked both sides as we go through this bridge, but according to gentlemen on the towpath, there's no other boats coming this way, so that's thankful. Next lot of new waters. He's concentrating, so he's not smiling. Here we go then, on the Stratford Canal.
Didn't bounce.
No, you did well again.
Not knocked anything over.
Well done you, gold star. On this small section of the Lapworth link at Kingswood Junction, you would go straight on to branch down and then go left towards Stratford-on-Avon. We're going right and through a lock and then join the rest of the Lapworth flight. This is then going to take us down to the Kings Norton Junction and on to the Birmingham Worcester into Birmingham.
So we're just waiting for the lock to empty. Overflow there, coming down. But if we spin it round, we'll get the little triangular piece that we have. Signpost saying Kings Norton, the Stratford-Avon, Stratford Junction and Grand Union, and then a little bridge with a lock underneath it. It's come up from Stratford. One for a few years' time, or a visit sometime. And the actual piece in the middle is an island, because there's another bit of the canal that if we come from the Grand Union and turn left, we would have gone behind the house that's on the side.
So it's goodbye to double locks and hello to single locks again now. Very picturesque junction here.
Well, Tasha's going to have to go over the bridge and empty the lock so we can get up. We're actually going up, we're not going down. So we're joining the flight part way through. And we've got another, maybe 19 to go. I don't think it's that many, but not far off.
These locks are all nice and close together, so we've got a good system going. There's both working the locks, I'm setting them, and then Paul's closing the gate behind him as he comes out. Certainly haven't got the problems of lack of water that we had last summer. Look at the amount that's coming over the bywash there.
So we got to lock number 8, of the climb. So in essence there's another 8 to go up the canal. But look at that view. It's just a beautiful look. Tesh's gone a little bit further up. She's opened up the next lock, ready and waiting for me for when this one's ready to go through. And she's gone to investigate. Apparently at lock number 6 it might be broken. There is CRT people there, or Canal and River Trust people for those that don't know, looking at it or working at it, or it's been reported anyway to say that it's not working properly. But what a nice view to have out your house window, straight down the locks and watching the boats come up. Enjoy.
Feels like these flights and locks are never ending today, but hey, it's stopped raining now, so that's good. This is different. We've got a lift bridge here, bridge number 8 on the Stratford Canal. Difficult to video it because I've got to keep my hand on the button. Easy enough to operate, need a genuine British Waterways key, and then it's just got an open and a close button. There we go, done, through. And then there's road barriers will come back up once the bridge is fully closed. Again, have to keep your finger on the button until everything's fully raised. We're coming towards the end of our trip along the Stratford Canal. It has been a really nice section of canal, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has been actually.
We've done the north section from Kingswood Junction and we're just heading down towards Kings Norton Junction now. The Stratford Canal was built between 1793 and 1816. Yes, I have got some crib notes because I will forget what I've got to say otherwise. It's 25.5 miles long, which is 41 kilometres long, and it's in 2 sections. Section from Kings Norton Junction up to Kingswood Junction, which is what we've just done from Kingswood down. There's a long section of about 10 miles, which is flat, with a few just drawbridges on it, and then you get to Lapworth locks, which are single width locks. A couple of the paddles were a bit stiff to operate, but generally it's been a really nice section to do. Very rural, very pretty. Nice mooring at, it's called Drawbridge. Drawbridge moorings, wasn't it? By the drawbridge and the drawbridge inn.
Bridge number 8.
Yeah, it was a nice mooring last night.
Shit.
Which is within about a mile's walking distance of Shirley and local shops, and there is parking there if you're moving a vehicle as well. In the other direction from Kings Norton, you can go up the Worcester-Birmingham Canal and into Gas Street Basin, and then from Kingswood Junction you join the Grand Union Canal. The canal is fed by Earlswood Lakes, which is made up of 3 lakes, and you rode past them, didn't you, this morning, going back to get the van? Yeah. And they were big, weren't they?
It was big.
That's because there's 210 million gallons of water in there.
Wow.
Wow. There is a lot, yes. We've got a tunnel to go through shortly, and then when we get to the stop block, we'll show you the stop block. It's not used anymore, it's permanently open, but it's the original wooden stop block from when canals used to have toll charges and stops at the ends of them before you went from one to another, so the owners got their due payment. The swing bridge talked about in Nicholson's guide, just after the tunnel, doesn't seem to be in existence anymore. Here we are now approaching Kings Norton stop block. Like we say, it has been fully renovated. The guillotine part of the lock is made of wood and used to be operated by the chains you can see there, but it is no longer in use. It's purely there for historical purposes.
Right, not bad for the boat.
It's quite a narrow quite a narrow cutting to go through. Wouldn't fancy being stuck underneath that if it suddenly failed. There is a mirror guillotine at the other end of the cutting, the other side of the bridge as well. There we go, coming to the end of the Stratford Canal, about to go on the Worcester and Birmingham Canal at the junction. This final section coming down towards the junction is quite wide. That's because this was originally planned as a broad canal, but then in true canal and boating fashion, plans changed and it was built as a narrow canal. The old toll house is stunning. It was obviously one of the canal company headquarter offices back in its day.
That's going to be a fun.
Another new canal for us now on the Worcester and Birmingham Canal. Next stop, Bourneville.
Chocolate.
Unfortunately, we couldn't get tickets to go into Cadbury's World today.
A bit too slow on the button.
It's fully booked, but we're just going to walk into Bourneville and look at some of the history because it is steeped in history. So we'll take you with us and see what we find.
Chocolate.
In 1861, George and Richard Cadbury overtook the expanding Cadbury's business from their father John. They were a family of Quakers and they went on to purchase 120 acres of land in what is now Bourneville area to develop the first model village, to ensure they looked after their staff, paid them pensions and ensured they had open green spaces and facilities for exercise and leisure.
You mean a bit like this one?
A bit like this one.
This one's got a big hill in it.
It has. We're heading up to Roe Heath where there's a pavilion that was used as well. So we'll show you that when we get there. The name Bourneville was decided on after the River Bourne, which is close by, and Ville being the French for town, hence Bourneville.
Yep.
Cadbury were reliant on canals for milk delivery and railways for cocoa delivery from the ports of London and Southampton, which is another reason this was the area that was chosen, because it had both in the vicinity. And I will show you just how close they are on the next piece. You can see from here how close Cadbury's Bourneville is to the canal, with the railway in the middle, which is why the land was bought by the brothers and it was built there, so both rail and canal transport could be used for materials and goods in and out. This is an example of some of the housing that was built by the Bourneville brothers for their employees. They really did believe in looking after their employees.
You've got names over the top.
Yeah.
Doors.
The original factory was in Bridge Street in the middle of Birmingham before it moved out here to what became Bourneville. The original 120 acre site was expanded on and became a 330 acre site eventually. There was no public houses because of the beliefs of the Quakers. However, like we say, there was plenty of leisure facilities, and Roe Heath Pavilion being one of them, which did actually later become licensed in the 1940s. The houses were of a good sized design with nice sized gardens so that the employees felt valued and looked after and had a good quality of life, which was very different to a lot of other factory workers of the era. Here we are in Roe Heath Park. Let's have a look and see if there's a park one here. It's a really nice park. Got a big duck pond. This is the pavilion that was built by the Cadbury brothers for use by their staff. Beautiful building. The pavilion was built as changing rooms for the staff to use because all of this was sports fields hockey, football, there was a running track, lots of facilities for everyone to use. Really good community ethos. So here you can see the back of the Bourneville factory. Next to it is the cricket ground and a very splendid looking cricket pavilion. Sad faces because we couldn't manage to get tickets to go in today, but happy faces gives us something to look forward to coming back to. Yay! This is Bourneville Village Green. This lovely building behind me is the Bourneville Rest House, and it was built to celebrate George and Elizabeth Cadbury's 25th wedding anniversary, and it was paid for by their employees. So that really does show how much their employees appreciated the way they were looked after by the Cadbury brothers. And opposite the rest house is a parade of shops, which was originally built when the housing was built back at the beginning of the 1900s. There is a cake studio, a bread basket and a cafe, so I think cake might be calling. As promised, we have our cake. This is the South Cocoa Block, where they used to process the cocoa beans and make products such as the famous Cadbury's Cocoa Essence. It now is the Cadbury's chocolate plant, and the machines are capable of wrapping 20,000 bars of chocolate an hour. It's a shame
we haven't got smell-o-vision. Wow, the smell of chocolate here is amazing. That's what you get with the vents all above our heads.
Very nice. This splendid looking building used to be the swimming pool for the workers and their families. Oh, hello, who are you?
See ya.
Been a bit of a busy week, hasn't it?
A bit of a busy, very busy morning.
Hope you enjoyed that video. That was all the locks.
Yes, it was all the locks. I'm knackered now.
I've forgotten.
Look, it's all there. It's still there.
So yes, Hatton and Lapworth lock flights. Lots of locks.
Cake.
Yes.
Cake. Very nice cake.
So yeah, next week's video, we'll see us in Birmingham.
Ooh.
Exciting. So we hope you have a good week. Thank you for watching. Thank you to all our new subscribers.
Push that button, ring that bell. It's free to the world, so share us.